There's a quiet voice inside you that has always been there. It whispers, nudges, and sometimes gets a little loud when you need to hear it most. But for many of us, that voice has been drowned out by noise. Noise from the world, from other people's expectations, from our fears, and from the endless chatter of the mind. This voice is your intuition, your inner compass, and learning to trust it is one of the most profound steps you can take in awakening to your true self. Think back to a time when you felt an unexplainable sense of knowing. Maybe you knew which path to take without logical reasoning, or you sensed something about a person before you had proof, or you felt pulled to make a choice that didn't make sense on paper but somehow felt right in your heart. That is intuition. It doesn't arrive through analysis or step by step logic. It emerges from a deeper place, a place that feels both ancient and alive, a place where your soul is guiding you. But many of us have been conditioned to doubt this inner compass. We've been told to trust authority, to seek validation, to prove things with evidence, to follow reason over feeling. Those skills have value, of course, but when we rely on them alone, we lose touch with our inner truth. And then we find ourselves drifting, unsure of who we are or where we're going, always looking outward for answers that can only come from within. Trusting your intuition is not about abandoning logic. It's about creating harmony between your mind and your inner knowing. Your mind is a powerful tool, but your intuition is the wisdom keeper. The mind gathers facts. The intuition sees the bigger picture. The mind analyzes what is. The intuition senses what could be. And when the two work together, you feel aligned, purposeful, and clear. For me, the journey of trusting my intuition wasn't smooth. I remember times when I felt a clear gut pull but ignored it, only to regret it later. I stayed in situations too long, made decisions that weren't right for me, or silenced myself when I knew I needed to speak. I remember when I entered that toxic relationship, I had this unexplainable feeling that I wasn't safe, and I would even have dreams about him breaking into my house. But I dated him anyway, telling myself I was overthinking, only to get myself into a few months of chaos and longer time of heartbreak. Over time, I realized intuition wasn't something to fear. It was something to honor. The more I practiced listening, the stronger it became, like a muscle that grows with use. But how do you know if it's your intuition speaking or if it's your fear? Intuition doesn't always announce itself loudly. Most of the time, it feels like a subtle tug in your chest or a quiet unease when something doesn't align. Other times, it shows up as clarity, peace, or an inner yes that feels undeniable. The challenge is that it often arises before logic kicks in. And if we're not paying attention, the chatter of the mind can drown it out. That's why slowing down, creating moments of stillness, and becoming more attuned to your body and emotions is so important. Your body, especially, carries intuitive wisdom. It notices shifts in energy before your mind can process them. A clenched stomach, a lightness in your heart, or a spark of excitement. These are all signals worth noticing. Trusting your intuition also requires releasing the fear of being wrong. Sometimes you'll follow an inner nudge and it won't unfold the way you imagined. But that doesn't mean you were wrong. It may mean that the path was meant to teach you, to redirect you, to give you an experience your soul needed. Intuition isn't about guaranteeing perfect outcomes. It's about aligning with your truth in the moment. It's about walking the path that resonates with your inner self, even if the destination isn't yet clear. One of the most powerful shifts you can make is to stop asking, what should I do? And start asking, what feels true to me right now? That simple shift moves you from external pressure to internal alignment. Intuition thrives when you honor your own truth. And as you practice, you find it become easier to distinguish intuition from fear or impulse. Intuition feels calm, steady, and grounded, even when it points you towards change. Fear feels constricting, urgent, or heavy. The more you pay attention, the more you will sense the difference. I often think of intuition as an inner compass pointing toward your soul's path. It may not tell you the entire journey ahead, but it always gives you the next step. And when you take the step, the next step reveals itself, like a lantern lighting the road just enough for you to keep moving. It's not about having the whole map, it's about trusting the guidance you receive along the way. Here's the beautiful truth: you already know how to do this. You were born with intuition. As a child, you probably felt it strongly, knowing who you felt safe with, what made you happy, what didn't feel right. But as we grow, we learn to second guess, to dismiss that knowing, to follow rules instead of instincts. Awakening to your intuition is not about learning something new, it's about remembering what has always been there. And a side note here: if you have children or you work with children, encourage them to trust their instinct when you can, so they don't lose it as they grow up. So, let's bring this into practice. Today, I invite you to reconnect with your inner compass in a simple, grounded way. Set aside a few quiet moments. Take some deep breath and place your hand over your heart or your belly, wherever you feel most connected. Then ask yourself, what does my inner knowing want me to hear today? Don't force an answer, just listen. Notice what arises: a word, an image, a feeling, a sensation in your body. It might be subtle, it might surprise you, it might even be something you've been avoiding. Trust it. Write it down if you like. Let it sit with you. Then, throughout your day, notice how your body and intuition guide you in small ways. What feels expansive? What feels heavy? Where you sense a yes and where you sense a no. With practice, this becomes second nature. You begin to trust yourself again. You start making choices that feel aligned. You stop outsourcing your power to others and start leading from within. And you will notice that life begins to flow more easily. Challenges still come, but you face them with an inner compass that steadies you. Opportunities appear, and you feel confident in knowing which ones are right for you. Relationships deepen because you are no longer hiding your truth. You are living awake, connected, and guided. As we continue this journey together, remember that trusting your intuition isn't a one time decision, it's a lifelong practice. Every day gives you another chance to listen, to honor, to act. And each time you do, your connection with yourself grows stronger. You're awakening to a deeper relationship with your soul, one where you no longer doubt your inner wisdom, but embrace it as the guiding light it was always meant to be.